Hi everyone. Yesterday we introduced you to a rank ready template. Okay, that's got its own admin panel and it's totally remote control. It's maximized for the scores Google is interested in. Okay, so it's better than most themes you could get at ThemeForest or anywhere else. And it's cheaper than if you have somebody custom build it for you. And it also has pre-written content that's a catch-all for about anything. So whether you're selling lipsticks or a car, the same templates basically apply to get traffic through the template onto wherever you want them to go. So it's really useful. And when you create a lot of top quality websites like that, you can use some to backlink the others, okay? And Google really loves that result. So you can build an empire of self-promotion very fast and very cost effectively. So what did we do yesterday? We took that template and I walked you through a process of how we come up with the domain names we want, create the cPanels, and that's actually what we did here, going through tabs of an Excel file. How do we come up with the domain names, create the cPanels, and then put this into Software Installer for total control, and then create the wildcard subdomains onto every website, and then install whatever templates we want to each and every website, no matter what server they're on, remotely, all at once. Then just go through and check them, make sure they're the way you thought, and then certain ways to access them that are nice and efficient. That's what we did yesterday. We were able to create 96 websites we did in our little test here. We did 96 websites in 45 minutes, basically. Okay, that's what we did yesterday. 45 minutes of work, starting from, I wonder what domain names I want to buy for this project, to the point where you have websites and you can submit the sitemaps to Google now. You can log into each website and make changes you want. Okay, 45 minutes for all 96, 45 minutes for 100 websites to get them up. Okay, and then you can log into each one and make changes. We showed you the video training was right here. Okay, website-installer.com. Go to videos, and these videos at the top really explain how they're rank ready and why they're powerful. And then this gives you some background on where the automated concept comes into play. And we showed websites that are 7 years old that are still benefiting from it today. And no one wrote the content, and yet they're useful. And then we walk through all the stuff you can do with these templates. Okay, you can generate 1,000 pages a minute into each website without breaking a sweat. It's not hard. It's push button easy. Okay, sprinkle in your keywords here, wherever you want people to go, optionally some cities, optionally some company information like company name, phone, if it applies, and then hit go. And it creates pages for every keyword you want, times every location you want. And it's done. It automatically submits a sitemap to Google. So, and Bing and Yahoo. So the point is, they're automated. You don't do work. You just go through the motions. It's very, very, very easy. But what are we going to do today? We're going to move past that. We're going to still use the same thing. We're going to use the same templates for the same controls and the same functions you see here. But we have remote control. So we are going to use a tool called varsheet-installer.com. It's just a homemade tool. We haven't come up with marketing names for these tools because we just got done developing them, but they're complete. Now what that tool does is something you never see offered to the public at large. That's just like you didn't see this offered to the public at large. How do you create all these websites, like 100 of them, in 45 minutes? What does it take to do that? How can you do that, right? How can you compete with the top industry leaders at that level for creation? That's part one. Part two, more important, Google wants to see you make changes to any website you make, like every 2 weeks. They need to see that you're doing things inside those websites, and preferably with every single page inside the website over the course of time. You don't have to make a change to every page every 2 weeks, but you should make a number of changes in any website every 2 weeks. More often is better, okay? Why? Because it means you're still there. It means that when Google's showing you for keyword results, you'll be picking up the phone or the ordering process system will be connected. Somebody will be able to buy. Google can't know if you're still there unless they see that you're making motions on the sites. Otherwise, you set them and you forgot them and you walked off. probably 80% of websites on the internet that people built, they don't even remember what the domain names are. They just let the domain names expire eventually, right? And Google doesn't want to be showing those websites at the top if those guys aren't there, or if they don't even remember what the business is for, or if the connections just don't work, right? Google wants to show quality results. So by keeping up your websites, Google knows you're still around, so that refreshes your right to rank. And the more you do this over time, the more Google's willing to risk having you up for higher and higher keywords. Also, it's got to test what happens when you get a little traffic. Can you handle it? What happens when you get more traffic? Can you handle that? What happens when you get a trickle, then a stream, then a flood of traffic? Can you handle that? Okay. A lot of people want that flood to happen overnight, but then when it actually happens, they can't support it. Imagine you'd want to get 1,000 orders, but what if 1,000 people say, hey, I got the order, but I was missing a part? Can you handle that sort of support? Or say you get 1,000 orders and then you get 472 emails a day from different people on average saying, I don't know how to do this. How do you do that? Can you handle it? Okay. Most people want to rank at the top and get tons of orders, but Google wants to work you up the ladder and get there. But the only way they're going to keep working you up the ladder is if they see signs that you didn't give up on the business on the way. Okay. That is important. Okay. And that is the natural state. If you go look up Brian Dean, for instance, or anyone else, they'll tell you this is how it works. All right. The biggest names in SEO. What do we have? The biggest tools in the toolbox for being able to do just that. We brought this power to a company. I don't know if I want to name them. I'll just say this. In India, there's a company worth 900 million US dollars that does about 400 million US dollars a year in business. What do? They maintain websites for their clients. They do all that. They got 250 guys doing SEO all the time. Their clients include Maybelline, Burger King, Discovery Channel, and a number of others. Okay. They've got great work environment. Their guys love to work there, and they're in the press for how awesome they are as a place to work. We brought this stack of tools that I'm showing you, what I showed you yesterday and what I'm going to show you today, to them to say, hey, you could replace your 250 people. You can get rid of them. 5 people can do the same work with our tools that 250 people used to be able to do. Not just that, the work for the 5 will be easier. They won't even break a sweat. Whereas the 250 are pounding away and breaking a sweat to keep up. Okay. The 5 people will mostly just have coffee or tea or chat with each other in the hallway while the automation does all the work for them. And they agreed. They saw it. They agreed. They loved it. But their problem was, if they just up and dump everyone after making themselves win public awards for being the best workplace for all the SEOs that want to come stampeding in there, that they pick from, they're going to look horrible. They'll look like bait and switch. Brought them all in, got themselves in the news, and then dumped everyone out for automation. And they said, we can't do that. I was like, oh man, that's painful. They said some of their customers might leave. The reason their customers like to associate with them, big companies like Maybelline and stuff, is because they're big in the news. For all the right reasons, right? So although I understand their quandary, there are a lot of companies that do not have 250 SEO guys on hand, but they would love to compete with companies at that level. Wouldn't you? That's what these tools are for. Anybody who can think that big, we have the tools to back you. And with that said, I'm about 9 minutes in. I'm going to go ahead and break this off. And then we're going to start walking through the motions and showing you more and more automation. And I'll continue to compare it to the industry standard. As an example, when we created the wildcard subdomains, we asked people, how long does it take to do that manually if you handed that work to somebody? It'd say about a minute each. Okay, so for 100 websites, it's like 100 minutes. It's like an hour and 40 minutes, right? I think it took us like 4 or 5 minutes to do it. And when we did it, no one worked at it. We just walked off and let the computer finish the job. Okay, that's great. Well, what else do? We installed websites, total functional installations with SQL databases, created, uploaded, and the connection string updated on every website. And we did it at the rate of about 1 every 15 to 20 seconds. Okay, full scale websites installed at that rate. Okay, 271 meg of base website installed at that rate, one after the next. And again, on full automation. So if somebody were to do that manually and it would take them 5 minutes each for 100 or even 6 for round numbers, you're talking about 10 hours of work and they're going to have to do it without taking a break. You give them a break every 4 hours, well, there you go. It's going to be pushing 12 hours, especially if they get up for coffee somewhere in the middle. Let's say 12 hours of work. Well, we did it in what? We did 4 installations a minute. So 25 minutes. And again, no one broke a sweat. We walked off and did whatever we want. And again, what did we install? Rank ready, top quality websites. And if anything is a matter with them now, we can edit them remotely. We don't even have to reinstall them. And not just that, we can update them remotely at will. This is the power I'm going to show you today, is how to act like you have a team of 200 people pounding away, and yet, nah, it's just you and maybe some guy you hire on Fiverr, maybe a couple of guys you hire on Fiverr, just to split the work, think outside the box, do things right, or even just to split the powers up so that the left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing. But that's the continued power that we're going to go through today, and it's not available for sale to the public and the nation anywhere that we can find. Same as yesterday, all of this automated installation of multiple websites, we did not see a tool that you could get, certainly not for $2,500, that was available to the public that would allow you to install top quality rank ready websites that don't need content. They're already finished and they already work. And you can just do it that fast, back to back automatically. So anyway, without further ado, let's step into the series. And yeah, just if you care to blow your mind, you're in the right place. All right.